Jenny Millers was 29, working as a waitress at Rosie's Diner, a tiny place squeezed between a hardware store and a laundromat in rural Kansas. Her life followed an unchanging rhythm: wake before sunrise, walk 3 blocks to work, tie the faded blue apron around her waist, and greet the morning regulars with a smile that never revealed the loneliness hiding underneath. She lived alone in a 1-bedroom apartment above the pharmacy, her only family captured in old, yellowed photographs. Her father had died when she was 15, her mother just 2 years later, and the aunt who raised her had moved to Arizona for her health, leaving Jenny with nothing more than rare holiday phone calls and an occasional letter. One Tuesday morning in early October, Jenny noticed the boy for the first time. He couldn't have been older than 10, small for his age, with observant eyes that seemed to see everything but reveal nothing. He always sat in the farthest corner booth, a backpack too large for his frame leaning beside him, a book always open on the table. That first day, he only ordered a glass of water. Jenny brought it over with a smile and a paper straw. He thanked her with a nod so faint it was almost invisible. The second day was the same, the third, the fourth. By the second week, Jenny recognized his pattern. He came at 7:15 sharp, exactly 45 minutes before the elementary school 3 blocks away started classes. He would sit quietly, reading, slowly sipping water, while watching other customers eat stacks of pancakes, eggs, and bacon. At 7:55, he'd close his book, quietly thank her, and leave, never having eaten anything. On the 15th day, Jenny accidentally placed a plate of pancakes in front of him. "Oh, I'm sorry," she said, pretending to be confused. "The kitchen made an extra. I'll just leave it here instead of throwing it away." The boy looked up, suspicion and hunger flickering in his eyes. "It's okay," Jenny reassured him. "Sometimes the cook mixes things up. Better to eat it than let it go to waste, right?" She walked away before he could protest and watched from the counter as he hesitated, then finally picked up the fork. 10 minutes later, the plate was empty. From then on, it became their quiet ritual. Each morning, Jenny would bring him a mistaken order: pancakes one day, scrambled eggs and toast the next, oatmeal with brown sugar on colder mornings. He never asked for anything, never started a conversation beyond a soft "thank you," but he ate every bite as if afraid the food might vanish. "Who's that kid you keep serving?" asked Harold, a retired postal worker who sat at the same stool every morning. "Never seen his parents." "Don't know," Jenny admitted, "but he's hungry." Kathy, who worked the grill, cornered Jenny after the 3rd week. "You're feeding a stray," she said, not unkindly, but with a touch of realism. "You start giving handouts, they never learn gratitude. One day, he'll just disappear. They always do." Jenny just shrugged. "It's fine. I used to be that hungry too." It was the most personal thing she'd ever shared with her coworkers. The boy never gave his name, and Jenny never asked. Something in his cautious manner, the way he always checked the door and window, told her that questions would only drive him away. So she just kept his water glass full, made sure the food was warm, and gave him a quiet place to breathe for 40 minutes each morning. Sometimes, when the diner was nearly empty, Jenny would find herself wondering, did he have a family? Was he nearby? Why was he always alone? Why did hunger seem like a constant companion to him? But she pushed the thoughts aside. To her, kindness that came with conditions wasn't kindness at all. By the 6th week, other customers noticed her routine. Most said nothing, but a few couldn't resist snide remarks. "Playing charity worker on company time?" one businessman muttered. "Kids these days expect handouts." Another regular chimed in, "In my day, nobody gave away food just because someone looked sad." Jenny let the words roll off her. She'd learned long ago that defending kindness rarely changed anyone's mind. Mark, the diner's manager, wasn't so easy to ignore. One morning, he called her into his cramped office. "I've been watching you and that kid," he said. "You can't just hand out free meals, it's bad for business." "I'll pay for them," Jenny replied instantly. "From your tips? Those barely cover rent." "It's my choice," she said, her tone firm. After a pause, Mark sighed. "Fine, but only one meal a day. And if it affects your work, it stops." Jenny nodded, relieved. Every morning, she set aside part of her tips, money that might have gone to a new coat or the dentist, and paid for the boy's breakfast. Then, one freezing Thursday in November, the boy didn't show up. Jenny kept glancing at the door, her stomach twisting. She even prepared his usual plate of pancakes, placing it at his booth, but by closing time, it remained untouched. The next day, still nothing. A week passed, then 10 days. Kathy shook her head. "Told you, they never stick around." During that time, someone snapped a photo of the empty booth where Jenny occasionally still left a plate. Soon, a local Facebook group posted it with a mocking caption, "Rosie's Diner, serving imaginary charity cases." The comments were even crueler. For the first time, Jenny wondered if she'd made a mistake. That night, she opened the small wooden box holding her most precious memories, a photo of her father in his medic uniform and his battered leather journal. On a dog-eared page, his words leapt out, "Shared half my ration with a local boy today. Johnson says I'm crazy. Maybe he'll betray us." But the look in his eyes when he ate reminded me of when Mom saved me the last slice of bread. No one grows poor by sharing half a loaf. Those who forget to share stay hungry their whole lives. Jenny traced the letters with her fingertip. Suddenly, she understood. She didn't need to know the boy's story. Hunger didn't need questions. It just needed someone willing to share. On the 23rd morning without him, Jenny still prepared a plate of pancakes, habit more than hope. At 9:17 a.m., everything changed. 4 black SUVs with government plates pulled into the parking lot, moving like clockwork. A man in a military dress uniform stepped out, tall, his chest covered in medals. Inside, the diner went silent. "I'm looking for a woman named Jenny," the officer said. All eyes turned to her. "I'm Jenny," she replied, setting down the coffee pot she was holding. "My name is Colonel David Reeves, United States Army Special Forces. I'm here because of a promise made to one of my men," he said, handing her an envelope. "This is from the commanding general and also from Adam's father." "Adam?" Jenny repeated. "The boy you've been feeding," Reeves said gently. "Adam Thompson. His father was Master Sergeant James Thompson, one of the finest soldiers I've ever served with." Jenny's heart sank. "Was?" The colonel nodded. "Sergeant Thompson fell in Afghanistan 2 months ago. In his final letter, he mentioned you, the waitress who fed his boy without asking questions. He wanted you to know you didn't just feed a child. You preserved the dignity of a soldier's son." Jenny took the letter, her hands trembling, tears blurring the words. The colonel saluted her, a formal, rare honor for a civilian. Behind him, every soldier in the diner did the same. From that day on, Rosie's Diner changed. The booth where Adam once sat now bore a small plaque, reserved for those who serve and the families who wait. Veterans, active duty soldiers, and struggling families began visiting, treated with quiet dignity. A week later, Jenny received a letter from Adam. "Dear Miss Jenny, I didn't know your name until that day, but for months you were the only person who looked at me like I wasn't invisible. Dad always said heroes wear uniforms, but I think some wear aprons too. Thank you for not asking questions when I couldn't answer them. Your friend, Adam. P.S. I finished the book. It had a happy ending." Jenny framed that letter not for display, but as a reminder of why kindness matters. Months later, a challenge coin appeared at her station, engraved with the Special Forces insignia and the words Semper Memor, always remembering. That night, Mark placed a sign in the window. Whoever you are, whatever you can pay, no one leaves hungry. Jenny smiled. No speeches were needed, just quiet kindness, pancakes, and the simple belief that no one should be hungry, for food or for hope.